of the wounds and problems associated with this thrasher, they're all associated or potentially been associated with a cat. Outdoor cats kill about 2.4 billion birds in the contiguous United States every year. Cats are actually a non-native invasive species, one of the world's most harmful invasive species globally. Invasive species are one of the leading causes of biodiversity decline around the world. When people do find small birds, mammals, or other wildlife that have been attacked by cats, they can take them to wildlife rehabilitation facilities.
Let me take him back, get him set up in the back in the incubator.
We tend to see a lot of cat victims coming in, and it spans both birds, reptiles, and mammals. So we basically our standard cat protocol with for birds, Flavonox, antibiotic, an anti-inflammatory in case there's some kind of encephalitis going on, swelling and such around the brain causing those neurologic signs.
So it's like not going to be hilarious. It's going to get a chance.
We're going to give it a go.
When we do have the bird in our hands, we examine them from one end to the other, looking very, very carefully for any kinds of lesions that might be on the skin. We know that the most frequent kind of injury on cat attack patients has to do with trauma to the muscles, and then it has to do with trauma to the skin, and then fractures. So those are the three things we're looking for the most.
1, 2, 3. I was missing about half of its tail feathers. I'm going to prophylactically start this bird on antibiotics as well. This is a classic sick bird look right now. He's fluffed up, his eyes are closed. Now we cross our fingers.
1 out of 7 birds that are brought into the Wildlife Center are captured by cats, and 80% of those tend to die or have to be euthanized because of the severity of their injuries.
All wildlife are at risk from being attacked by cats, but young birds in particular are very, very vulnerable. The work of these wildlife rehabilitators is so important. They're on the front lines, really giving wildlife a chance to be wild again.
Second Chance Wildlife Center.
He's got some kind of gunk on his abdomen, and I'm going to try to clean it off. And I know sugar bear.
Yeah.
I've been a member of the Second Chance family since 2001, and in that time, we've seen a lot of cat-caught things. The tufted titmouse, since it was pretty easy with those simple scratches, we were just able to assess that he was otherwise fine. We cleaned up the scratches just like you would if your cat scratched yourself. Put some antibiotic ointment on it. He was old enough that he didn't need to be in one of our incubators, so we were able to set him up in a small bird cage. It's not about keeping your cat happy, it's about keeping the native wildlife healthy. And our domestic cats are not part of this native wildlife. So it can be frustrating. This morning, we checked in the yellow-billed cuckoo that was caught by a cat, and that one wasn't as fortunate as a titmouse. The cat did severe damage. There were bite wounds on the back, and he had some spinal trauma where I didn't feel the spine was fractured, but there was definitely no use of the legs whatsoever and no feeling back there. And so that was an unfortunate euthanasia. We try everything we can before euthanasia. We throw the kitchen sink in. It's always our last resort, but everything we do is in the best interest of the animal. Having a small prayer to say just makes me feel more set in my place that I'm doing the right thing. Grant this soul swift passage to your garden, and forgive me my need that places it there.
Well, unfortunately, cats have contributed to the extinction of 63 species worldwide. Even well-fed cats will hunt and kill.
We received in a fledgling cardinal, which is a juvenile just about ready to leave the nest. He was attacked by a cat. The owner of the cat immediately brought it to us.
That's the bruising from the cat attack.
There might be a small puncture right down over here where there's another tiny bruise. But as long as, you know, there's no like bacteria that has entered that wound, it should be fine. They're my babies. You know, you try not to get attached to the patients, but you know, you're hand rearing these little ones, you're feeding them every 20 minutes, you do get attached to them, and then we send them up to Second Chance where they get acclimated to the outside, and then they're released, and it's like a proud mama moment. He was released, yes. Yes.
It's an extremely daunting issue to have free-roaming cats in the wild, and when we know that they predate upon our native wildlife. In terms of solutions, I think the biggest option that we have for society is to recognize that domestic cats are not native to North America in particular, and they don't belong in the environment. And so they are wonderful house pets. I have cats myself and love them dearly. However, my cats are indoors.
Our job as human stewards should be to take as best care of those under our protection as we can, and letting them roam free in unprotected areas isn't fair to them or the areas that they're roaming. I am a cat owner. I have 2 cats. They only go outside if I am within 3 feet of them.
You know, it really boils down to just treating cats like dogs. We don't allow dogs to run around our parks and neighborhoods, and it's inappropriate for cats as well. There is definitely room for hope. I have hope each and every day. We see an increased number of people just aware of the issue, bringing their cats indoors, making the right choices about how they treat their cats, whether it be because they recognize it's in the cat's best interest or because they're aware of the wildlife or other environmental impacts, and I think we'll see a shift in the right direction.